We had done last time this part already, but today again we'll take up this particular line to begin with and then proceed with the text. Then silently she rose and, service done, bowed down to the great goddess simply carved by Satyavan upon a forest stone. What prayer she breathed, her soul and Durga knew. Now, this is the description of the great goddess. We might try to see how great really this goddess is. It's a very preposterous kind of a thing to do, but still we can be foolish enough, absurd enough, and try to understand to some extent in our own way this great goddess, what this great is basically about. She is really great, there's no doubt about it. These are the images of Durga. You can see how mighty, how powerful, how majestic this figure is. Fully armed for the battle to wage the war against the demons, asuras. He is fully armed. We can see her fierce face expression also. She is ready. Now, according to the Puranas, according to the description of Goddess Durga, there were two asuras, very, very powerful, and they had done such havoc. They were oppressing the soul of the earth so much that the gods, all the gods, went and prayed to Durga. Please save the world, save the earth from the force of the asuras, from the action of the asuras. And after offering her due worship, eulogies, praises and all that, she agreed. And then each god gave her his weapon to fight against the asura. Each god offered his weapon to fight the asura. So she has got weapons from all the gods, all the powers she has acquired from the gods, and she is now ready to fight the asura. Dasha praharana dharine, 10 prahara weapons wielding in 10 hands. Now, this appearance of Durga is in a specific context of, in fact, she comes every year like that to destroy one asura after the other like that. And it seems that her work is endless. It goes on. In every October, she comes, destroys an asura. Again, next October, it goes on like that, you see. Which means that basically she is a power belonging to the cosmic operation, not the transcendental. Durga is a goddess belonging to the universal operation, not the transcendental. She is not the supramental power, Shakti, who will necessarily destroy the evil. She will destroy 1, 2, 3, 4 in the cosmic operation. She cannot. Now it is to her that Savitri is worshipping. In the morning, early morning, she gets up and she is offering her prayers to Durga. And this Durga is going to help Savitri. Now, therefore, the question which would arise in our silly mind is, will that help from Durga be of sufficient merit for Savitri to conquer death? Savitri is going to face shortly death, Yama. Will the power of Durga be able to help her to conquer death? If Durga is the cosmic power, and of course death is also a cosmic power, we can say to some extent that Durga will be able to help Savitri. But to fully conquer death forever, that may not be sufficient. Durga's help as she stands in the cosmic dimension may not be adequate enough to eliminate death forever. It is only the divine Durga herself who can do that. So actually what happens in the case of Savitri, she is helped by the cosmic Durga. She is offering her prayer because Savitri has taken the human birth, and therefore all the cosmic powers had to be with her, though they may not be sufficient to meet the need of her hour. They will not be adequate enough to meet the need of her hour. So, what actually happens in the case of Savitri is, with that force fixed in her soul, Durga's help, on the battlefield, it is the divine Savitri herself, divine Savitri, not the cosmic Savitri, the divine Durga, the transcendental Durga, who enters into the soul of Savitri, and it is she then who decisively conquers, vanquishes death. So, when you say great goddess, you have to see great from that particular aspect. She is great, but she is not decisively great in the cosmic manifestation, and what is required is the divine Durga has to enter into the soul of Savitri. Savitri has opened herself to the divine force fully. It is she, that divine Durga, not the manifestation of Durga here, who will really finally conquer. And therefore that great goddess gets linked up with the divine Durga. Now here she is great, she is cosmic, because she has been carved by Satyavan upon a forest stone, upon the forest stone. She is the cosmic goddess. The divine Durga, she cannot be yet carved in the material world. On the forest stone, divine Durga, she needs a different kind of a stone, not ordinary stone like that, you see. So, therefore, in that sense, there is a certain limit of this greatness of this goddess. She is carved in the stone, forest stone, in the cosmic manifestation which are there, not in the full transcendental manifestation. That is important to see here. Now, it is in that context you can see the importance of this line. Perhaps she felt in the dim forest huge, the infinite mother watching over her child. There now the importance of the infinite mother or the divine Durga, which comes into full operation. That is important. Savitri is worshipping the Durga who has been carved by Satyavan on a forest stone, but that act of Savitri is being watched by the Infinite Mother, and it is she then who takes charge of Savitri, of human Savitri. The worship of Durga takes Savitri to the stage when the Infinite Mother can take possession of her work, of her action. That is the role of Durga. Now, there are a number of references to the meeting of Durga by the mother. Durga used to come regularly in the month of October, Durga Puja days, visit the mother, spend sometimes 2 days, 3 days with her. And I will just read a couple of passages from the mother, what she is narrating about her rendezvous with Durga. On one occasion, the mother says, I was walking as usual and she came. She, of course, stands for Durga. And she came. That was when she made her surrender to the Supreme. On the day when she is going to make the surrender to the Supreme, on that day, the mother is narrating her meeting with Durga. Those divinities don't have a sense of surrender. All these great gods, Indra, Vayu, Agni, Durga, Shiva, Brahma, they don't have the sense of surrender. They don't know how to surrender themselves. That is the unique quality, the sense of surrender is a unique quality only with a human being, not with the gods and goddesses. Because we carry a psychic being. These gods and goddesses don't carry the psychic being. So the question of surrender doesn't arise. They think, they feel they are complete in themselves in every respect. They don't have to go and surrender to anybody. You see. Divinities don't have a sense of surrender. Divinities such as Durga and the Greek gods. Now Apasa mother is saying, although the Greek gods are a bit dated now. See, mother says, there are no people now in Greek to worship them. They are there, but there aren't people to worship them now. Great God. The 12 Olympians, Pallas Athene is one of the chief figures there in that. She is the warrior goddess, also the goddess of wisdom. In one place, Shivandu says about Pallas Athene, here in India, she is Maheshwari. There, she is Pallas Athene. So you can see that Pallas Athene corresponds to Maheshwari. He has very clearly said Maheshwari. But there are no people now to worship them, so the gods and goddesses, they have retired on the Olympus and nothing is happening. Perhaps to some extent, they have migrated to Rocky Mountains of the US, you see, and sitting there, you see. We don't know. So divinities such as Durga and the Greek gods, well, they are embodiments of what you might almost call localizations. You see how precise the mother is. They have certain qualities, certain powers, certain characters. They are fixed. What in other words, they are typal beings, localized beings, fixed type, localized, or something eternal. But they lack the sense of surrender to the Supreme. That is mother's complaint. These gods, okay, they are great, but they don't have the sense of surrender. Shiva comes to her, Ganesha goes to her, all these gods, Durga goes to her, but they don't have the sense of surrender to the divine. You see. And while I was walking, Durga was there. Really, it was beautiful. Durga, with that awesome power of hers, awesome power of hers. That is the great goddess of Savitri. See, awesome power of her, forever bringing the adverse forces to heel. And she surrendered to the Supreme on that particular day, to the point of no longer even recognizing the adverse forces. Her nature, her character is to destroy the evil, the adverse force, the asuras. But she does not even recognize now the adverse force, the asuras. She has surrendered herself so much to the divine, she does not recognize the evil force there, the Rakshasas, the asuras there. All is the supreme. Even they are the supreme. That is what she has recognized. It was like a widening of her consciousness when she makes surrender. That localization becomes now widening of consciousness. Some interesting things have been happening in that world. In that world, the typal world, the world of the gods. Seen the supramental descent in 1956. See, although the descent has taken place upon the earth, it has its influence, its repercussions, its power spreading throughout the entire cosmos. So it is happening here, but it is spreading throughout the entire cosmos. Happening in that world, how can I explain? Those beings have an independence, an absolute freedom of movement. That is the character of the gods. Although at the same time, they are all a single being, but they had a true sense of perfect unity only with the supreme consciousness. As individuals, they don't have that sense of unity. One God with other God, with goddesses, they don't have that sense of unity unless they have that identification with the supreme consciousness. They are complete by themselves and therefore they don't need others, you see. And now, with this present intervention of the supramental descent upon the earth, 1956, with this incarnation and the establishment of the consciousness, her in such absolute way, I mean, there are no fluctuations. She has surrendered. Here on earth, in the terrestrial atmosphere, this incarnation has a radiating action throughout those worlds. This incarnation has radiating action throughout those worlds, the worlds of the gods and goddesses, overmind world. Even there, this incarnation stands for the supramental descent in 1956, February 1956, on earth. All those universes, this is not one, all those universes, all those entities, what a powerful descent it is. We don't understand that.
The descent has a repercussion on other universes.
Universes, not one universe. All the locus, all the overmind world, whatever other worlds are there, worlds of intuition, vital world, everywhere its influence is there, radiating. She says word radiating.
The 1956 descent.
What has happened here is not localized only to the earth. It has the full power to affect the entire cosmic manifestation. That is the importance of 29 February 1956. That is what she calls the present intervention, you see. All those universes, all those entities, and it results in small events, incidents, scaled to the size of the earth, which in themselves are quite interesting. And then she says, well, this was on 27th June 1962, so today is 28th June. Yeah. Yeah. So, see, that is the power of that event, supramental descent, on 29th February 1956. It is not localized, and it is the power of that thing which in a way was seen very beautifully by Durga. That is the openness of Durga. That is the greatness of Durga. In her spiritual stature, there is something remarkable. Although she does not have psychic being, there is something remarkable in her that she recognizes the greatness of that event and she offers herself totally to the Supreme, surrenders herself to the Supreme. So her will does not count now. Her action does not count. Whatever the Supreme wants her to do, that she will do.
But she doesn't dissolve herself.
She doesn't?
She is not dissolving herself.
No, but she has surrendered. Now it will be all taken care of by him.
Who is?
Yeah. Now, if she wants to make progress, she will take birth upon earth. She has surrendered to the God, to the Supreme. If she wants to make progress, she will come here, take birth here. It is a psychic being which makes you progress. That is the beauty of we human creatures, you see. We don't realize it, you see.